Hi there, and welcome back to Japan. I just arrived on a Zip Air flight from Bangkok in their flatbed class. Interestingly enough, both Zip Air and today's airline, Jetstar Japan, are owned, in at least part, by Japan Airlines. I made my way to some affordable and very clean shower stalls in the arrivals area of Terminal 1, and now I need to make my way by shuttle bus to Terminal 3. This is the second video in a new Japan series, which will bring you 11 videos crisscrossing Japan on a variety of carriers, in all available classes, with 5 train trip reports as well. So, lots of beautiful Japan content to come for sure. Today's video is a bit of a 2-for-1, as I'll show you a mini trip report at the end of this video of one of the coolest trains in Japan, the Limited Express Rapit from Osaka Kansai to Namba Station. So stick around for that one. As we make our way to the other side of Narita, let me introduce myself to those of you that may be new here. My name is Kevin, and I am the Flip Flop Traveler. I'm here to give you honest content about flights, hotels, trains, and cruises. I paid for this stay out of pocket, and as always, the price that I paid is in the description below. Jetstar Japan had no knowledge that I'd be filming, and I didn't receive any compensation for doing so. Everything in this video is my personal opinion, based on my own unique experience. The rest, I'll let speak for itself. Let's get started. I'm not actually going to do this, but traveling domestically in Japan, I can instantly understand why there are so many channels out there that feature trip reports from here without narration. It's just such a unique country for sounds and jingles, and often silence. I'll come clean. I absolutely adore Japan for its systems and organization, even if some of those systems may seem a bit obtrusive to those not familiar with them. Traveling in Japan for me is almost a sort of meditative experience. The domestic arm of Terminal 3 here at Narita is a bit of an odd one. It gives very strong gymnasium vibes, and those vibes do not stop all the way to the gate. I mean, it's literally a track. %90 of the check-in experience here is fully automated. For the most part, you'll only be speaking with a member of staff if you have an international connection. I personally was nervous about my bag being overweight, since I've heard about how strict they are with carry-on baggage, but I decided to chance it and just head airside. Note that I did pay for extra carry-on, and I did also pay for a checked-in bag, so it's not like I was taking extra weight than I paid for, I was just putting it in a different place. You may be wondering why I'm flying from Narita to Kansai, the two inconvenient airports of their respective cities, or why I'm flying at all and not taking the Shinkansen train. From Narita to Osaka by bullet train, with perfectly timed transfers, is just under 4 hours. With my layover and flying time from Narita to Kansai, it's just over 4 hours. Ideally, I would have been able to fly into Itami Airport, but there are only 2 flights per day to there from Narita, and they're both much later. If I was in Haneda Airport, I would have countless flight options to go to Itami, as you'll see in my next flight video. Walking to the gate, you'll cross this bridge of sorts, where in the winter, you'll be smacked in the face with a blast of cold air, since you're actually outside. But it did have some of the best views of the apron in the area. Here's your friendly reminder to click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with friends and family. Those are truly the easiest ways, all free for you, to help support the channel. If you'd like to support me further, my Patreon is also linked in the description below. Thanks very much in advance. And then once you get to the gate area, it's just one straight shot. So one thing that will affect all of my Japan videos in this series, but just ever so slightly, is a newer law in Japan that forbids quote-unquote sneak photos and videos. So I'm not going to be waving my camera around, but if there's a chance that I might catch someone's face, I will surely be holding my camera chest level for everyone to see that I'm not sneaking or creeping. As for my carry-on baggage story, so I paid for extra carry-on baggage, which meant that I could have 2 bags at 7 kilos each. I was slightly over that before leaving Bangkok, but then wanting to keep the amenities from the Zip Air flight, I was definitely over that. And Jetstar Japan does not play around. There's a designated weighing station near the gates, and before your flight boards, you'll be instructed to go to that station. You must weigh your bag, have it verified by staff, and then you'll be given a carry-on baggage tag. No tag, no carry-on, no exceptions. Funny thing is, suddenly, my jacket got really, really heavy, and I felt the need to wear it despite the raging heat inside the terminal. I put my 2 bags together on the scale, and it said 15.6 kilos. The agent looked at me, I looked at her, she looked at me, and I lowered my head slightly and smiled in a way that screamed, "Please?" She verified my boarding pass to make sure that I could have 14 kilos compared to the standard 7. She then measured my carry-on in all 3 directions to ensure that it would fit on board, which it did, and I got my sticker. That was a big weight off my shoulders. Literally, my jacket was like 3 kilos. Anyway, here's our 10-year-old A320, which would take us the quick 300 miles to Osaka. These gates here have very unique jet bridges. Or perhaps they're jet tunnels? As will become a theme in this series, boarding began precisely on time. A while back, I made a video about Jetstar Asia, the Singapore arm of Jetstar, and I got my head absolutely ripped off for saying that it was a Singapore-registered company, which it is. It was as if I said the sky was made of silly string and Sasquatches, so brace yourself. Jetstar Japan is not the same airline as Jetstar Alila Australia. Of course, they are related. Qantas owns 33% of them, with the rest being owned by Japanese companies. It is a Japanese-registered airline. Japan Airlines is the largest stakeholder. They focus mostly on the domestic market, with 17 domestic destinations and just 3 international. I was greeted by a friendly member of crew as I stepped on board and made my way to my seat. After reaching my row, a flight attendant politely reminded me not to film any crew, which I didn't, and I confirmed that it was okay to film around my seat without people, and she smiled and said yes. I had an exit row which offered plenty of legroom, but besides that, these are bog standard low-cost carrier seats, but I'm not complaining. After my recent kangaroo route trip, this seat is honestly more comfortable than some full-service carrier seats that I was in. The only unique and not so great thing about the seat is that there's no seat pocket on the bottom to store some small things, which would be nice considering we're not allowed to keep our bags at the exit row. The space on top could barely fit the literature that was already in there. If you head down to the description, you'll find my next 5 videos to come out, as well as a link to my other economy class and Japan video content. On your way down there, don't forget to subscribe. I release full-length videos every Thursday and Saturday. We pushed back and began our taxi on this gray afternoon as the crew performed the manual safety demonstration. Okay, let's get going. We taxied for a while and then took off to the northwest. The spool up, takeoff, and airport stats are coming up next. Jetstar Japan has an assortment of buy-on-board items available in addition to the pre-bookable meal options that you can reserve when booking your ticket. Not knowing what the day would have in store for me, I pre-booked a hamburger curry, which is one dish which honestly can't be bad. And this one in particular was actually really good, and dare I say it, the curry sauce was more flavorful than I had on Zip Air. It hit the spot and held me over until dinner nicely. Nothing really of interest in the restrooms, but they were of course spotless. We would be looping around to land at Kansai from the north, but had some beautiful views along the way, making a series of turns over the Osaka Bay. And it wasn't long until this short and sweet flight was about to be over. The landing and airport stats are coming up. The sun was shining in Osaka, making for a beautiful train ride to come up. As with just about all Japanese airports, they really are easy to navigate, and when in doubt, there will always be staff around to point the way if you're not sure which direction to head. To get to the train station, we needed to exit the airport and cross the corridor. In case you're not familiar, Osaka Kansai is built on an artificial island, which just so happens to be sinking a bit, so it's quite a distance from downtown Osaka. A taxi or Uber from the airport to Shin Osaka would be a flat rate of $173. So yeah, train it is. My ticket for my super seat car was around $10. And as a reserved ticket, you'll have a car and seat assigned to you. I think it's pretty safe to say that you would only get an airport express train like this in Japan, and I mean that in the absolute best of ways. Gimmickiness aside, from every angle, it's just a beautiful train. Designed by Wakabayashi Hiroyuki, the trains are meant to look both futuristic and retro at the same time. And I would say that that's been accomplished pretty well. If you didn't know that the train looked like this, I don't think suspecting the arrival of an intergalactic teleportation train would be unreasonable. And here is mine. Inside, the cars are absolutely immaculate. Frankly, all trains in Japan are. These trains entered service in 1994. To even think of what an Amtrak interior from 1994 would look like today, I cringe. Plenty of storage overhead, as well as at the ends of each car. The super seat cars are in a 1-2 layout, and the standard seats are 2-2. The seats themselves are designed as if this was a long-distance train. Comfortable seats, nice recline, great legroom, tray table, cup holder, everything that you would need for the full Japanese train experience, but in this case, just 34 minutes of it. I'll let you enjoy a few views as we make our way to Namba Station. And here we are. I'm gonna go catch another less interesting train to Osaka, and then get some shut-eye after these 3 flights and 2 trains back to back. I really do hope that you enjoyed this combo trip report. If you did, please be sure to like it, leave a comment, and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on any of my twice weekly videos coming up. I'll see you next time at the incredible Alila Hinu Bay in Salalah, Oman. Oh, and as always, thanks for watching until the end.